Welcome to lesson number 11. Today we are going to do analog read. So let's open our info slide. Okay, so in analog read is a fundamental function in Arduino that reads the voltage value from an analog sensor such as a potentiometer, photocell, or thermistor. It turns a value between 0 and 1023, representing the voltage range of 0 to 5, which means the value 0 would represent that the voltage that is being read is 0, and that the value 1023 would represent that the voltage that is being read is 5 volts. Common application of the analog read include reading sensor values, light, temperature, sound, controlling LED brightnesses or motor speed. So to get the real read value of the system voltage you want, use the formula the voltage in over the maximum voltage multiplied by 1023. So in this tutorial we are going to use a moisture sensor, which is this one, to actually learn about analog read. Okay, so now let's get started. Okay, so this is our CAM. So in our CAM we have the Arduino board, the breadboard, jumper cables, the moisture sensor. So the S, that's for the sensor pin, the positive one is for the power pin, for the power positive, and the negative one, this will be ground. And I'll just have this container, it's a lid, we'll be just pouring water into it so that we measure the moisture. Okay, so now let's get to the connections. I'm going to start by connecting the sensor pin. Okay, so at the far end we have negative, that's all, it's ground. So I'm going to just press this on ground like this. Okay, so far it's not connected to anywhere, it's just an end there. Then I'm going to connect the positive. I'm going to connect the positive to, okay, like that. And finally I'm going to connect the white wire to the sensor. Okay, so we have this, and so far it's just not connected anyway, these are just wires. So I'm just going to put it back right there. So next I'm going to connect to our breadboard. So from the breadboard I'm going to connect 5 volts. So this 5 volts I'm going to connect it to the positive rail strip, and I'm also going to connect ground, and I'm going to connect ground to the ground strip. Oh yeah, no, let me just push this bit forward so that you can see. So we have positive as the brown, as we have positive as the red wire, which is connected here at the positive strip. The brown wire is ground, which is connected as the negative strip, like that. Okay, so the sensor pin, you are going to use the pin A0. So I'm going to connect A0 on our Arduino, and I'm going to put it on the breadboard. There. Okay, so we are, it's now like this. Okay, so now we are going to connect this to the breadboard. We are going to connect these pins to our breadboard, these pins so far. So I'm going to connect the positive strip, which is blue, to our power rail. Okay. Then the ground wire is black. I'm going to connect it to the negative power strip. this power strip, and I'm going to finally connect the sensor pin right besides the sensor pin from our Arduino. Okay, so now this is our circuit. So I had to use more wires because I'm going to be moving this. So just to avoid loose connections, I've decided to take it from the breadboard rather than to take connections directly from our Arduino. Okay, so now let's move this a little bit here so that you can see. Okay, so now our connections are done. Let's now get to the code. Okay, so for the code, before we now write the code, now you're familiar with variables. So you're going to declare a few variables. So we're going to declare a variable moisture. Okay, after moisture, we are going to declare another variable moisture value. So moisture is going to be our where we read A0, the pin where we are going to sense the amount of voltage, and moisture value is going to be the variable that is going to be assigned the value which are going to read from pin A0. And they're also going to declare delay time in SMDT. We are going to make it half a second, 100, like that. And now we are going to do our pin mode. This is moisture. Pin mode moisture, and it's an input. Pin mode moisture, and it's an input. Now I'm going to call our serial monitor. So it's a serial dot begin 9600. This is our baud rate. Okay, so under void loop, we're now going to assign moisture value is equal to AnalogRead bracket moisture. And then serial dot print inline. While we're printing, I'm going to print moisture value like that. So our code is actually simple. Then we are going to make a delay of dt, which is delay time. Okay, so this is how short and simple our code is. So moisture value is this variable which is going analog, which value is AnalogRead from moisture which is A0. Okay, now let's load our code in our Arduino and let's get started. So now we are done loading, uploading our code. So I had to skip that. My computer was taking longer to upload the code. Maybe there's a few background functions running. Okay, so now let's open a serial monitor. Okay, so now let's open serial monitor. So in order to establish that your Arduino board is working, so I mean this moisture sensor, this LED light here, if it's on, you're good to go. Then just make sure everything's connected well. Okay, so now let's observe these values which you are currently getting, these ones. Now I'm going to enlarge here. So at the moment we are getting 0 like this. So we have no moisture, so I'm going to pour water inside and let's see if the values as they rise. Okay, so now as you can see, we have our sensors reading this value. So now I'm going to pull it out just for a little bit. Now watch, you're back to 0. Now I'm going to dip it in slightly. Okay, that's been a mistake there. Okay, so now I'm just going to dipping it slightly. I'm going to increase dipping it in. So you can see the values they should be rising. 3, 4. Okay, now they are rising, and now I dipped it fully. So the reason I might not be getting 1023 is because some power is lost during the cables are a bit long, and my Arduino might not be outputting the correct power. So that's the reason why one may not get the full values. But as you can see, when you dip it, yeah, as you can see, if my serial mode has been breaking, as you can dip it, you can see that the values are changing, and when you remove it in water, we get a 0, and when you dip it again, you get those values. So you can calibrate. You can calibrate it with a full value out of that. Okay, so this lesson was about digital write using MSR sensor. Thank you for paying attention. Goodbye, and kindly subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you.